Most people believe that a body transformation requires hours of grueling labor inside a professional gym. But after analyzing functional fitness data and looking at the science of metabolic adaptation, I discovered that this common belief is actually a barrier to your progress. We are told that if we do not have 60 minutes to spare, then we might as well stay on the couch. I decided to challenge this idea by following a strict 20-minute functional movement protocol every single day for 1 month. The goal was to see if a short at-home workout could deliver the same results as a heavy strength training session. My credibility was on the line as I tracked every repetition and every heartbeat to find a formula for the busy person. Incorporating functional fitness into your daily routine is the most effective way to ensure your body remains resilient as you age. The results of this 30-day experiment completely shifted my perspective on how to feel stronger without ever leaving the house. But before we get into the data, we have to look at the conflict that started this entire journey. I was stuck in a cycle of low energy and constant physical stiffness. My daily routine involved moving from my bed to my desk and then eventually back to my bed. I was losing my core strength and my mobility training was non-existent. Climbing a simple flight of stairs felt like a full-body workout that left me gasping for air. I knew I needed a change, but the thought of a long commute to a gym felt like an impossible hurdle. I felt soft and sluggish, and my joint health was beginning to suffer from a lack of use. I decided that 20 minutes would be my limit for a no-equipment workout in my living room. I fully expected to prove that such a short duration was a waste of time. But the struggle of the first week taught me a very different lesson about bodyweight training. Day 1 was a wake-up call that my body had forgotten how to move. I focused on basic bodyweight exercises like the deep squat and mountain climbers. Every single repetition felt like I was moving through heavy sand. I thought I would breeze through a beginner-friendly routine, but I was humbled within the first 5 minutes. My heart was pounding, and I realized my cardiovascular health was much worse than I imagined. But I refused to quit because I wanted to see if the internal benefits would eventually kick in. During those first 7 days, my muscles were screaming in protest. I felt more tired than usual, and I wondered if low-impact cardio would have been a better choice. But I stuck to the plan of high-intensity functional movement to see if the metabolic fire would start. By the end of the first week, the intense soreness began to transition into a dull hum. I was still struggling with the flow of the movements, but I was no longer collapsing after the first 5 minutes. We are going to look at the massive energy shift that happened in week 2 in just a moment. But first, we need to understand why the second week is where most people fail their daily routine. In the second week, the initial excitement of the challenge begins to wear off. The physical conflict shifts from muscle soreness to a mental battle against boredom. But this is exactly when your body begins to adapt to the stress of daily exercise. I noticed that the afternoon slump that usually ruined my productivity was starting to vanish. I no longer needed a third cup of coffee to make it through my workday. Instead of feeling drained, I felt a steady stream of energy flowing through my system. The secret to long-term success isn't the intensity of a single session, but the discipline of showing up for every repetition day after day. This was the first sign that my full-body mobility was improving. I started adding more focus to my squat mobility to ensure I was protecting my knees. I used the 20 minutes to practice a deep squat while keeping my chest up and my core engaged. Every repetition was a chance to practice better functional movement. I was not using any heavy weights, but the constant movement was building real leg strength. I started to feel a sense of pride as I realized I was finally sticking to a commitment. This is the part where I want to hear from you. What is the biggest challenge you face when trying to start a new fitness routine? Please leave a comment below with your thoughts or questions about home workouts. I read every single one, and I want to help you overcome those initial hurdles. Moving into the third week, I realized that my body was changing in ways the scale could not measure. I felt lighter on my feet, as if I was performing a daily walking workout, even when I was standing still. My joint-friendly movements were paying off because I had zero pain in my knees or lower back. I was focused on pain-free movement, which is something I had not experienced in years. But the real secret to this success was the consistency of the 20-minute window. Because the duration was so short, I could not find a valid excuse to skip it. Even on my busiest days, I could find 20 minutes for a few rounds of strength exercises. I noticed that my sleep quality was improving significantly every night. I would fall asleep within minutes and wake up feeling refreshed instead of groggy. But I was still curious if the physical transformation would be visible to the naked eye. I began to notice that my clothes were fitting differently around my waist and shoulders. The puffiness in my face was starting to recede and my posture was much more upright. This was the resolution to the conflict of feeling old and stiff. I was regaining the bodyweight training skills I thought I had lost forever. We will show you the real secret behind the final results in a minute, but first, we have to look at the final week. By the time I reached week 4, the workout was no longer a chore. It had become a vital part of my day that I actually looked forward to completing. Building significant core strength through bodyweight exercises will naturally improve your posture and reduce the risk of chronic back pain. I was pushing myself harder during every repetition to see how far I could go. My endurance had doubled since the first day and my recovery time was nearly instant. I was performing complex bodyweight exercises with a level of control I never had before. My core strength was now supporting my spine throughout the entire day. I felt a sense of empowerment that translated into every other area of my life. But I still needed to see the final numbers to know if the experiment was a total success. On day 31, I stepped on the scale and took my final progress photos. The results were a complete shock to my system. I had lost 8 pounds of body weight while noticeably gaining muscle definition. But the most important change was the way my body moved during daily tasks. I could perform a deep squat to pick something up without any clicking in my joints. Choosing a low-impact cardio approach allows you to protect your joints while still pushing your cardiovascular system to its absolute limit. My leg strength was at an all-time high, and my heart felt stronger than ever. I had achieved a full-body workout transformation in just 20 minutes a day. This proves that you do not need an hour of strength building to see a massive difference. The context of this success is found in the power of the daily routine. It is about showing up for yourself even when you do not feel like it. I replaced the idea of a walking workout with a high-intensity functional fitness plan, but the key was making it manageable and beginner-friendly from the start. I no longer believe that I lack the time to stay healthy. I have learned that 20 minutes of focused effort is better than 2 hours of distracted effort. If you are struggling to find your path, I encourage you to start small. Do not worry about having the perfect equipment or the perfect space. Just clear a small area on your floor and move your body for 20 minutes. If you commit to this full body mobility practice every morning, you will notice a drastic reduction in muscle stiffness within just 2 weeks. You will find that your joint health and mental clarity will improve almost immediately. You will start to feel stronger and move with a sense of purpose. This 30-day journey was the best thing I have ever done for my functional movement. I am now a true believer in the power of the at-home workout. I hope my story gives you the motivation to start your own 30-day challenge today. Consistency is the only thing that stands between you and your goals. But you have to take that first step and commit to the process. Thank you for joining me on this journey and for letting me share my results with you. If you found this helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel for more fitness insights. I look forward to seeing your progress in the comments below. Now make sure to watch the next video on the screen to keep your momentum going and learn even more.